I'm all thrown off. You're supposed to be presenting.
We good?
Yep.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us, everybody. I will call this public meeting to order of the South Bend Empowerment Zone at 6:07 p.m. Rosa, if you could help me out with roll, yes, please.
Sure. I
know, yeah, gotta get-
everyone's names,
gotta get the
but
list
I
down.
can. So Ryan,
Present.
Stephanie,
Present.
Sam,
Present.
Jeff,
Present.
and Sonia,
I'm here.
and
Dwayne is on his
Dwayne
way.
is on his way, and Leslie and
Ashley.
Ashley. Thank you. Sorry
And
about
Kareem,
that. I
and
didn't have the list.
Kareem. Oh, and Kareem.
And Kareem.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Excellent, thank you. So we have quorum. With quorum, I will take a motion on adoption of the agenda.
I'll move that we approve the agenda as circulated.
Excellent, thank you, Jeff. Can I get a second?
Second, Bo.
Excellent, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any abstentions? Excellent, thank you. All right. So for board president report, we're keeping this evening's meeting brief. It's always hard to kind of schedule July stuff, but I thank everybody for the time in coming tonight to handle some important business for the South Bend Empowerment Zone. And the bulk of tonight was focusing on finishing up our items from the year and focusing on the zone chief evaluation. So we will move to the next item on our agenda, and that is governance committee report. So zone chief review and bonus recommendation. So I will let Jeff, who headed up that process, talk about that process.
Sure. So just by way of reminder for the board and the public, last fall, or I guess fall, but late summer or fall, as we hired Dr. Lewis, we had met with him to develop expectations for the 22-23 school year. And those were part of the contract we have with Dr. Lewis is a base salary and bonus. And so we'd set out those criteria that we felt were appropriate for us to consider when we did bonus. And so, and then over the course of the year, obviously we've monitored our success towards those expectations. And then at the end of the year, as part of our process, we have a zone chief evaluation rubric that we use that we ask each of our board members to fill out so that we're getting input from them related to performance of the zone chief. We also have asked a number of key stakeholders from South Bend Community School Corporation and other key partners with us to offer their thoughts or input as we were finalizing this process. And so we collected some terrific input on just how things have gone this last calendar year, and we feel good about the direction that's headed. The governance committee then met on Friday of last week to review all that data and finalize the recommendations that we're bringing here to the board this evening to consider. And so, that's just a general overview of the process. Would you like me to talk through the recommendation as well too, or do you want to cover that, or whichever is easiest?
We wanted other governance committee members to make a comment about review process, or we got to do that now?
Yeah, we can. Sure.
I'll go ahead and,
Okay.
I mean, I'll share as one of the governance committee members, and luckily we're all here today too, which is great. And so one, it's been a great school year for us here at the South Bend Empowerment Zone. And I know when in review, looking at the work ethic and focus on partnerships this year was something that was really important as part of why we surveyed partners to get their input on this and look at, the solid developing relationship that the South Bend Empowerment Zone has built with the South Bend Community School Corporation was something that really took into consideration as we were through the process, and always focusing that outcome on our partnership with SBCSC and improving the lives of students in the South Bend Empowerment Zone.
Sam, if I could add to it, I think as we were more in terms of the actual evaluation itself, as we were sitting with Dr. Lewis last year, and as we worked, and I've talked to him like he's not here, but he's sitting back. But we talked in particular about financial performance, budgeting, how critical it was for this board to have a clear picture on things like that. We're thrilled with the work he and Rhonda and the team have done to help us understand it. So as we're doing evaluation, that was one of the things that really stuck out to me is his leadership in not only the reporting piece and helping us better understand all the pieces associated with it, but also in his leadership in implementing that budget and recognizing the challenges that go along with it and trying to sort of set a course in what is always in the school environment, never enough dollars to do everything you need and trying to figure out how to prioritize that. So we've been that one of the things that stuck out to me in the both from my own review and from comments from others as we were doing the evaluation as one of those pluses from this last year. Sure.
And if I could just add, part of the process, one of the things that we looked at is how did the reset go? Because that was an important part of his role coming in. And so as we looked at the reset, it was a great way to increase the expectations of the students. Additionally, to find out what the families could expect then from the zone as they brought their children in. And then lastly, just as an example of this, backpacks and uniforms that he took care of, set the expectation, but then provided what was necessary. And it's just a way to kind of just make everyone feel safe and increase the safety in the school. So that was things that we talked about as well.
I'll add too, having had a chance to meet one-on-one several times during the course of Dr. Lewis's first year here with us, and knowing how important it is for us to support student growth and parent involvement, but also wanted to stress how important it is to support our staff. And I feel this year, Dr. Lewis, he hit the ground running as far as professional development efforts were concerned. He made it clear that he was doing walkthroughs throughout the building, all 5 of those properties, our buildings, working with our students, working with our staff, doing classroom observations. I think it was a rather bold step to work with the NEA union so that our teachers in the zone could have professional development one day a month. So once a week, one day a week, every Thursday. It was early release day. And so that was a big change. And I know that it's definitely helping towards professional development. And that's one of the areas that we really looking at to see how our staff could be encouraged, supported, given guidance if improvement plans were needed to be made, and to laser focus in on what staff needed those extra supports. But I think he's done a yeoman's job in coming in right in the middle of this term and working with staff on the professional development. So I thought that was key.
Thank you, Stephanie. So any other, if there are no other comments, I'd be happy to, I guess I should ask if there are other things anybody wants to add.
Just a comment, just to say thank you for coming in the middle of, our challenges and doing the reset. And I just want to commend you for that.
So at the governance committee meeting on Friday, the recommendation, so the general consensus was we made progress on all of the objectives that we had laid out last year. Some of them are a little farther along in the process and not, but after careful review, we are recommending that the board approve a $13,000 bonus for Dr. Lewis for the work of last year. And again, in accordance with what we had agreed to initially when we did his employment contract, that's a significant amount of the bonus potential. We think it's warranted, and I would recommend that the board, and actually I'll make a motion that the board approve a $13,000 bonus for Dr. Lewis for the 22-23 school year. Thank you.
I'll second that.
Ryan will second that. And then before we move to vote, we have a new public comment policy. And we'll move to public comment at this time, and then board members can make comments again after that. At regular meetings, the board will hold a public comment period before each vote, except for the consent agenda. It is requested that the public focus comments on the topic of the vote. The board will also hold a public comment period on all other topics at the end of the meeting. Individuals must sign up online by 12 p.m. on the meeting date or in person no later than 10 minutes after the call to order. Individuals must make their comments in person at the board meeting. Individuals are invited to address the board for 3 minutes. Individuals may comment in the order of sign up per topic. Individuals may only speak once per public comment period. Speakers shall only identify themselves after they approach the podium by stating their name and address for the record. Personnel issues are not to be addressed during open sessions. The board president may interrupt, warn, or terminate a person's statement if the statement becomes personally directed, abusive, or obscene. And at this time, the microphone is open for public comment. We didn't have anything online submitted, right? And seeing none, we will close the public comment portion and move back into recommendation for the board. So we would just, is there any additional comments? Seeing none, then I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any abstentions? Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations. Thank you very much for your work this year. All right, and so next will be general public comment. So if, I'm not gonna read it again since I read it like 45 seconds ago. So if there's anybody wishing to address the South Bend Apartment Zone Board, you may do so at this time, and please approach the podium. I assume no public on the online, right? Going once, going twice. Excellent, then we will close public comment for the board meeting. Final board communication, so I think we're still, Julie, are we still figuring out if we've got quorum for Tuesday for next week? Or do we have it?
Need to do one more count.
So I will just tentatively say we are planning an executive session for next Tuesday at 4:30. And so ideally we'll get quorum so we can host that meeting as we continue to work in partnership with SBCSC on the MOU extension for the South Bend Apartment Zone. So looking forward to that. So watch your email calendars in terms of that. I'm holding the time. Hopefully we can all do that as we continue this important work. With that, thank you again, Dr. Lewis. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. It's been a great school year and we're looking forward to the next great school year, and everybody enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you very much. And I will adjourn this meeting at 6:20. Thank you very much.
Great meeting.
This is a great meeting.
Ever.
Best meeting.